So the Charlie Kirk situation is getting more and more serious by the day. Obviously, we saw that absolutely heartbreaking footage of Charlie Kirk being shot mid-speech at the university where he was openly having these discussions with students and people that didn't disagree with him. And ever since then, everybody's been trying to work out who was responsible. There was rumors of maybe a guy, some old bald guy being carried out of the event that might have been the shooter. Then they were saying the shooter was somebody else. They were looking for the shooter, but we can now confirm, people, the shooting suspect has been identified and taken into custody. This is from CNN, and apparently this is the man who was behind the assassination. They've finally got hold of him.
Tyler Robinson.
As Tyler Robinson graduated Pineview High School in 2021, photos and videos from his mother's Facebook page show him as a high achiever, graduating with such a strong academic record that he won a 4-year scholarship.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000.
But Robinson did not use all 4 years of that scholarship. He took a leave of absence after just 1 semester, according to Utah State University, and enrolled at Dixie Technical College in the Electrical Apprentice program. It appears Robinson lived near his family at an apartment in St. George, where today, law enforcement was at this complex. FBI technicians gathered evidence at the apartment. A neighbor described Robinson as super reclusive. This apartment is 3 hours away from Utah Valley, the site of the shooting. He lived here with a roommate who showed police messages.
The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush.
In the woods near the school, investigators found that rifle, along with bullet casings engraved with messages, some referring to online memes and video games, others seemingly political.
Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point. A second unfired casing read, Oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao Ciao.
That inscription, Bella Ciao, appears to reference an Italian anti-Nazi folk song, which has been used in recent years on video games and a TV show. Robinson's voter registration doesn't show any political leaning. He registered as unaffiliated with any party and had not voted in the last 2 general elections. But he had recently become more political. A family member described what he said at a dinner.
In the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate.
It was his family and a friend who turned Robinson into the sheriff's department. Among the clues, investigators say they got footprints from Converse shoes when the suspect jumped off the roof. Photos show Robinson wearing Converse in several pictures, similar to surveillance photos captured at Utah Valley.
So they've got him, man. They have got Tyler Robinson in custody for the murder of Charlie Kirk, and it's pretty crazy. So look, this isn't a video about Tyler Robinson, and it's not really a video about Charlie Kirk. This is really a video about the reaction in a strange community. I'll give you that. So look, anybody that follows this channel for a while will know that we talk a lot about the Chicago gang violence, the gang wars going on in Chicago, the drill music that's being written and recorded that tells the story of these real-life gang wars in Chicago. And in these Reddit communities, like Chiracology, and there's a damn near a Reddit community for every gang scene in nearly every major city in America and even beyond, from Australia to the United Kingdom. There's a drill scene all over the world. And these guys, I'll keep it real. I'm a member of the Chiracology. I'm Team Chiracology, okay? I don't condone any of the viewpoints that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, either for or against. I'm just documenting history for an educational and journalistic reason. Okay, this is a story in the public interest. But the guys over on Chiracology are very good at solving murders before the police do. I've said that many times before. The guys in Chiracology, they're very good. They know exactly who killed who. They know when, they know where, they know absolutely everything about the violence going on in Chicago. And it seems like recently these guys in Chiracology, they're putting, I don't want to say to good, but they're putting their how can I say it? They're putting their investigative skills to good use. And it seems like the murder of Charlie Kirk, despite not taking place in Chicago, despite having nothing to do with gangs or the streets or anything to do with that, a murder on camera is a pretty common sighting in the Chiracology subreddit. And as soon as this happened, this became one of the most popular, the most discussed, the most viral things in Chiracology. And I just want to share with you today some of the discourse going on in Chiracology so you can understand how the Chicago gang underworld and its many followers are actually taking this news and beginning to discuss. I'll keep it real, all right? maybe I am a culture vulture because I ain't really know much about Charlie Kirk. All right, my culture really is the streets and the music and the gangster rap. All right, I'm not that politically inclined. But when I heard about this story, I see this story in Chiracology, and I wanted to learn more about it. And I just think it's actually insane to look at the things and the memes and the statements and the quotes that Chiracology have been posting as a bunch of guys that are obsessed with Chicago gangs begin to wake up to the views of this very right-wing figure with a lot of people, I don't condone it, but a lot of people saying, hey, some of the statements that he'd made about the black community, really not cool. And they're really saying, they're saying, I'm not saying this, but they're saying, because of the things that he was saying, maybe he had this coming, and a lot of people are actually celebrating what happened to him, which I don't condone, but it is what it is, man. So I'm going to show you just a few prime viral posts from Chiracology over the past couple of days to just give you a sense of what's really going on in this community. So look, when they identified the shooter, all right, everyone was saying, how long you bet until our top op gets arrested? Polymarket should give us the odds. Our boy been on the run for over 40 hours. They say he possibly left the state already. People saying, damn, he just got picked up. And his father allegedly told on him, man, he getting done like queso. Apparently, he told his dad that he did caught the body. And his dad called the cops and held him there. Who knows if it's really the kid or another crazy person claiming they did it like it was originally. So, yeah, he got done like queso. His father told on him, man, by the looks of it. And I don't want to show anything too messed up. So, yeah, they're saying, look, it looked like our boy Charlie Kirk got backdoored because he's wearing a Trump shirt. And really, Charlie Kirk was Trump gang. He was Biden K. They're saying it'll be your own man, Slim. Be your own man's to backdoor you. So he's saying a fellow Trumper actually ended up taking out Charlie Kirk, which is actually crazy to think about, right? So there was a mega thread that was massively viral in here. And what I thought was really interesting, and we're going to get into this in the comments, but for some reason, despite all of the murders, look, I'm just going to say it how it is, okay? No disrespect to anybody. But it is a little bit strange that the murder of a young black man who's known in Chicago, who's known in the streets, who's known as a member, all right, that gruesome murder is seemingly allowed, uncensored, completely unfiltered on Chiracology, but for some reason, the admins on Reddit, maybe because they're trying to avoid a wider ban, and I respect that because I would hate to see Chiracology taken offline. It's a very good resource, and I think it's very valuable for the community. But for some reason, all right, the mods on Chiracology say that there's footage of Charlie Kirk getting shot. It's not going to slide. You can have FBG Duck getting shot all day long, King Von getting shot all day long, but apparently the shooting of Charlie Kirk is a bridge too far, which I think is very strange, okay? People are saying in this mega thread, please post all Charlie Kirk related things in here going forward. The site is being flooded with posts related to him right now, and we're trying to avoid it if possible. Now, they're saying Reddit admins remove the videos of the dude getting shot in the neck. I would advise against posting anything condoning or endorsing violence against others, as they'll most likely ban you site-wide. It has nothing to do with us. People are saying, bro, how did Charlie Kirk become a prime topic in Chiracology? Reddit is a one-of-a-kind place. People saying, even though the main stuff we talk about is Chicago, this is damn near a everything sub. And saying, no, the mods let this place turn into a murders are us sub. Doesn't matter if it happens outside Chicago. If somebody is losing their life, you can find it here. And that's kind of true. People are saying it's washed, but that is kind of true. That is really what's going down. Okay? People saying, bro, that video is OC as F. Okay? And this is what people are saying. Mods will leave some black kid getting stood over up. But anything about this guy gets deleted, LMAO. That should let you know who's moderating this sub. I mean, be real. No real is a Reddit mod. Anyway, they're saying facts. Multiple dead black people posted, but one pilgrim gets smoked, and now they want everybody to be respectful. LMAO. Mad weird how no one likes the roles being reversed. And they're saying these dudes ain't got no morals. White guy dies. Sorry, it's too graphic. We got to delete it. I just seen a woman get stabbed to death on this sub, and it's still up. Bro, literally a video of a black guy taking a headshot and nobody said nothing. For real. Literally see an MF on Reddit getting smoked every day, but when it's a white, that's when they start to care. But people are saying that's the Reddit admins, not the Chiracology mods. I was 100% down to leave Charlie Kirk getting smoked as the top post on the subreddit. People saying no BS. Dude, they hypocrites. All right. Reddit removed it, not us. It was all over Twitter as well. And they're saying when was in critical, the vid was everywhere. Now that he's passed, the video is hard to find. The reason Charlie is a topic in this sub is because his last words were gang violence. Bang. People saying, hey, he's from Arlington Heights. Maybe he's a member. They're saying, let's get back to posting YNs killing each other. Apparently, that doesn't break any Reddit rules. Clowns. And they're saying, y'all really took my stuff down when there's 1,000 other posts. He's saying he'd still be alive right now if you dudes ain't gas him up, man. Putting him face to face with X. Look, it's just a very this is just, to me, it's a very unusual level and it's an unusual type of discourse going on. I do find it very interesting, all right? So, and there's a lot of interesting viewpoints that you're not going to hear anyone else. This guy says, I've said it before, but if you think this is not a victory for the right, you are insane. All this does is mobilize and radicalize more and more people towards the right who are already on the right. His audience is just going to watch actual fascists like Nick Fuentes. There are 10K new Charlie Kirks out there that are going to take his place. On a side note, I don't understand people that are this into politics anymore because the right already won 30 plus years ago. People just don't see it yet for some reason, unfortunately. People are saying it's crazy how the Dems are fighting so hard for the average non-college educated American, but they do a terrible job at telling people that. Crazy that the average person just defaults to Republicans. Buddy Ash tried to do, well, actually gang violence in his last words and got smoked by who likely will be another white man. And people are posting his old tweets, him back in 2014 saying, did I just get shot by an AR-15? Feels like it. People saying, how did he know? Very crazy, man. Very crazy. People saying the song of the day is Pop That Thing. People are celebrating, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, it depends how you look at it, man. I don't condone it. They leave K Savage homie getting hit up like 15 times, show Hothead dumping his mag into him, but one Adam's apple gets tapped and it all gets taken down. People saying just woke up from a nap and it's a beautiful day, about to put that bozo in the air. We do not condone this, right? But people are posting Malcolm X quotes. They're saying, being an old farm boy myself, chickens coming home to roost never did make me sad. They've always made me glad. He got neck tapped a minute after talking about mass shootings. Do you think he manifested his own death? Power of the tongue, really that great? So there's a lot more posts to show you that are a little bit more insensitive, but and I don't condone it, but it is funny. Some of the stuff that's being posted is funny, okay? Now, this is basically saying this is why the Charlie Kirk video was removed by Reddit. Stop blaming the mods, okay? And they basically had an automated post saying, we've decided the uptick of rule-breaking content being posted in your community, specifically regarding the rule against general violence. It says, do not post content that encourages, glorifies, incites, or calls for violence or physical harm against an individual, including oneself or a group of people. So just to be clear, all right, this video does not encourage, glorify, or incite, or call for violence. All violence must stop. It's very important. I'm making these points very frequently in the video to make sure that it is governed properly, okay? But yeah, they're saying it's Reddit, it's not Chiracology, it's not the Chiracology mods being racist and picking and choosing, but maybe that video is not up, but there's a lot of other stuff that people are rocking with. So look, trigger warning, okay? Trigger warning. What I'm about to show you is it's a hot button issue, okay? It's trying to get people riled up, but people saying, yeah, F this dude. He was apparently quoted by saying if his daughter was 10 and got, the baby would be delivered. He's that anti-abortion. And after that, yeah, people are saying they're smoking the pack. They're saying that Kirk pack is really hitting. I do not condone this, but they're saying the Kirk pack hitting. They're saying it's gas or what? That's what they're saying. Saying, how did they miss that big ass head? Okay, we do not condone this. It appears to be satirical posting, all right? Charlie Kirk apparently said in 2023, I think it'd be worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have our Second Amendment. That is a prudent deal. It's rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternative universe. He was okay with people dying in school shootings. He just didn't think it would be him. W for him. He died in what he believed in. Why are people mad about his death then? He had kids, so apparently folks are supposed to feel bad about the hateful fuck. I do still feel bad. I don't think any opinion is bad enough for you to not deserve to be on this earth anymore. Actions is another story. There's definitely a few crimes. There's a few very serious crimes. You know what I'm talking about. That maybe that DP might be worth having. Okay. But people are saying, bro, that quote's not about letting the government strip you of your rights because people want to use the death of kids to ban guns. Imagine if some dude caused a 10-car pileup and they made a law that made it so you can't drive until you're 25. And it's a Prius and it turns off every time you hit the brakes. People are saying that Kirk pack real life. Czar, man. Saying the Czar. A lot of that in here, man. Kirk pack in the air. This gas or what? He'd still be He'd still be alive right now if his beliefs ain't gassing him up. We do not condone these statements, right? Let us not forget Trump also made some comments about a 10-year-old girl and how he would, these people are sick. Oh, man. They're hitting the big cigar man with Scarface. They're saying it's Pack Watch, R.I.P. Bozo. Big Tony Soprano cigar getting rolled up, apparently, man. So apparently he had said passing the Civil Rights Act in the 60s was a mistake. That might be the worst thing he had ever said. Someone saying, look, I'm a white guy and a truck driver. Statistically, I should have been upset by this, but I'm not. Kirk was a real piece of dirt. I'm not upset that he's gone. Do I think it's okay to kill someone because you don't like them or they say something you don't agree with? Hell no. That's why a lot of stuff in this sub makes me shake my head. But I don't say anything because it's really not my place to be commenting on it. That being said, the only thing crazier than that next shot is the fact this guy managed to miss his gigantic head. Okay. So look. When the first guy got arrested, there was this bald guy that was taken away from the scene. People were thinking he did it. And saying, pack him up. Go and put his ass in the air. They put his face on Q50. All right. I don't even know if I can play this. But they got the classic Q50 song. They got his head on there, man. But trust me, you know, they spun back and they got another one for when they actually found the right person. He said they didn't check in with the Mormons. Them MDs, Mormon disciples, man. They're saying this Chiracology for you. Exactly. This is the kind of thing you're going to see on Chiracology. You ain't going to see this sort of thing anywhere else. They're saying that ain't the real shooter. They released this guy. Now, people are now talking about the real shooter like he's a Chirac demon, like he's one of the gangster rappers that we be talking about all day long. They're saying Tyler Robinson, 1X. He got one hat. Turning Point K, Republican K. Right? So they're saying he got a hat. We're going to have to wait for the trial and see what's going down. We're going to have to see all the evidence, but they're saying he really got a hat out here, man. Oh, no. They're saying this the new T-Roy, man. Same initials and everything, man. Tyler Robinson. He really the new T-Roy, man. What the hell? T-Roy got more hats, though. They're saying he snitched on himself to his dad, though. Faulty banging. He didn't show his dad. He didn't know his dad shared the same mindset as K-So's father, man. And his dad was also apparently a cop. Daddy saw there was a $1 million reward put up, and he said, F this kid. The dad's also a cop. So oink, oink. He snitched to the ops, too. Dad pushing Republican. Dad pushing Republic O Block or something, man. They're saying these are my dudes, but I'm MAGA K, you heard? Do not condone this. No such thing as MAGA K. That's not a real thing. That's not going to catch on. We can't have that, okay? Every clown talking about professional hitman, lol. But they caught him, man. Word is he slimed out Charlie Kirk, Turning Point MAGA, as get back for Melissa Hortman, Democrat, Republican K. He was never going to stop sliding for DRK Hort, man. That's what they're saying. Turning Point K is crazy, okay? So look, more clips have been going around of him saying pretty outrageous and out-of-line stuff, and people are saying, I'm sorry, anyone who's saying this dude ain't racist is a whole goofy. Let's see what he said.
Pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. The Civil Rights Act was a mistake.
More cops should be around your neighborhood. Why do blacks have a broken family? White person were to come up and
I don't condone any of these statements, by the way.
say, you know, black America really needs to get its act together and stop sleeping around all the time and needs to actually have
Why would you?
Because it's true. When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Black America is worse than it has been in the last 80 years. What percentage of young blacks have both a mom and a dad raising them? Of course we pander to blacks. They're in every TV commercial. And they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. If I'm dealing with somebody in customer service who's a moronic black woman, I wonder, is she there because of her excellence, or is she there because of affirmative action? Things got worse since the civil rights.
So some very incendiary statements towards the black community and Chiracology. Look, a lot of people say Chiracology is run by a bunch of white nerds that look like me, but there's real steppers. There's real people from Chicago that have been in the streets. You know, I would say, I don't know what the racial makeup is on Chiracology, but all of these negative statements towards the black community clearly aren't going to be going down very well. And it's Pack Watch once again, unfortunately, in there. People just say, yeah. Because this guy said, it's wild when you think about it. Charlie Kirk spent so much time putting down black people, saying how we kill each other. But in the end, he was taken out by his own people. That's true irony. The thing is, Charlie wasn't speaking facts. He was speaking hate. And the Bible speaks clearly about that. James 3:9-10 says, with the tongue we bless our Lord and Father, and with it we curse the people who are made in the likeness of God. From the same mouth come blessing and cursing. My brothers, these things ought not to be so. You can't claim to follow God and then use these words to tear people down. You can't preach love on one side and spread division on the other. Let's be honest. Once he realized debates brought in money and attention, his morals shifted. The Bible warns us about that too. 1 Timothy 6:10 says, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil." Charlie started chasing applause instead of truth, profit instead of purpose. He turned what should have been conviction into performance. But the Lord calls us to a higher standard. Matthew 5:9 says that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. All right, and we push in peace, man. That means that if you really care about God, your word should bring peace, not stir chaos. Your platform should build people up, not tear them down. That's the difference between having influence and having integrity. Well said. Perfectly stated. This man just weaponized Bible scriptures and aimed them at black people, just like slave owners, just like the KKK. Slave owners refused to let black slaves learn to read because they knew we would find truth in there. God is not hate. God is love. I agree with you. Charlie Kirk probably didn't mean half the stuff he said, but hate is $1 billion business. Once he found that out, he went completely off the rails. What's sad, he died too fast to repent. No chance to redeem himself. Man, it's crazy. It's actually crazy. So look. So he said, bro's now a white on white crime statistic. All right. Only empathy I have is for his kids. I hope they don't grow up with his same values. They're saying, yep, smoking on buddy tonight, man. The irony is the shooter is white. They was praying it was one of us, so they had a reason to tee up, lol. Real stuff. I'm low-key surprised they didn't try and pin it on one of us, the black community. That's what they're saying. Saying Wu-Tang always did say protect your neck. Ah, man, what the helly. What the helly. So yeah, it kept on going, man. So they saying Charlie Kirk up there with Lil Jeff now. He tapped in, man. He locked in, man. LAX all red, I'm bleeding. They're saying Jeff is the type of dudes that bro hated. I'm not, even this backdrop, I'm not sure that's how it went. I'm not sure that's how it went, man. But hey, yeah, that's wild. That one's actually wild. He's up there with Lil Jeff and them. So look, they're calling him Tyler number 9. All right, instead of Rondo number 9, this one's Tyler number 9. Okay, they got the guy Tyler Robinson. Sent up them snipers quick, man. So they got him in there, Rondo number 9. I don't know how they're doing these with the AI, man, but that is cold. That is actually cold. Big Rondo number 9, man. That is actually crazy. Tyler number 9. Is that actually him with an RPG? Is that real? No way. No way. They actually have a picture of him with an RPG? This is a legendary connection to notorious cab driver Rondarius numero 9. That is actually insane. People saying he's an insane Republican who beefs with other Republicans. If you don't know, man, you got guys that are insane BD, insane GD in Chicago. It means they beef with their own gang, man. People saying Free King Sniper. They put him on the Lil Jeff video as well, man. That's crazy. Man, I just don't even know anymore what this political discourse in America has just gone left. I'm not going to lie. This American political discourse has gone a whole different direction. They're saying, my demon. He'll be home soon. Just talk to bro on the phone on my mama. Saying it's crazy because they're probably going to execute bro. I'm not going to lie. Death penalty probably coming back for this guy, okay? Q50 officially adopting him into Bloodhound, man. It's looking like a harm vest. So they're saying this needs to be on a shirt for real. Technology's gone too far. Ty going to be home before Christmas. # free Tyler. That's what they're saying. We don't condone all this, all right? We don't condone all this. Oh my God, I can't even say some of these. They're saying this is the new king of drill now. Can we get past Lil Jeff? That's what they're saying. Saying we can never get past Lee Russell, man. The amount of souls Beffrey caught was outstanding. Turning in your own son after they said they were seeking the DP on whoever did it is some weak-ass stuff. If the American justice system was actually focused on rehabilitation or justice, that would be one thing. But they clearly want to make an example out of him, and you let them. But his dad was an ex-cop. What do you expect him to do, man? When they asked him why he did it, they said his reply was, he said what he said and had to pay the consequence. That's a Lil Jeff lyric if you didn't know, right? We don't condone it. We don't condone it. I need a big disclaimer, all right? I'm not trying to get in trouble, man. They're saying I'm never switching on King Drake. Nah, they're saying it's King Tyler, the Charlie Slayer now. Imagine how many hats he had that we didn't know about, all right? Not condoning that. Not condoning that. It's the last one, man. They're saying why the boy Charlie Kirk was telling black children that civil rights was a mistake. So let's watch this one last clip.
I have a question. Okay, what's your question? Why did you say that the civil rights bill should be overturned?
I didn't say that. I said it was a mistake.
Why? That's crazy.
Now you gotta figure it out.
I wouldn't be here. That's trouble.
So MAGA came here to say that life was better before the Civil Rights Act.
Got it.
Got it.
So yeah, they're really not feeling that. All right, they're not really feeling that. Okay. And they're saying, look, is he saying that black people lived better when there was segregation? And the people are saying Charlie Kirk said that Martin Luther King had regrets about the civil rights movement and that it was better for black people to have their own community, businesses, and organizations because Martin started to see that he had possibly led black people into a chaos that they could not get rid of. Decades later, as impossible crimes, instability, and no organization, and no black brotherhood. People are saying, man, you can tell that Charlie Boy had no idea what he was talking about because black folks have had their own community. It was just destroyed by white people repeatedly. Saying Charlie should debate him for part 2, maybe next week if he's available. They're saying, yeah, I have to go see if he's up for it, man. Was Kirk from Chicago? Why is this fool getting posted here? If I wanted Channel 4 News on my phone, I'd go to Our Politics. People saying he was from a Chicago suburb and dude spoke poorly about the area and the people. All right. Saying the Charlie runt's hitting hard this morning. So look, there's really no space for this kind of political violence. Look, I think the violence has to stop, full stop, whether it's political violence, whether it's, you know, gang violence, the cyclical gang wars that are going on in Chicago that normally get discussed on Chiracology. It's all got to stop. I don't condone any of it. I don't support any of it. We need to have fights. We can have wars with words, okay? We need to have fights with words. We need to use our words better because taking somebody out just proves that you really haven't got a point. And I'm not saying that I agree with anything Charlie said. I'm first hearing some of this stuff from the first time. I'm thinking, yo, not going to lie, this cat was wilding. This cat was wilding, you know. I don't think anybody deserves to go out the way that he went out, but he was wilding out. And it was a white man that took his life, which, you know, considering the things that he said, people originally were saying, oh, it was a trans woman that shot him, but it's looking like a, you know, all-American white boy that ended up doing this. And as people are saying, it's white-on-white violence. It's very, very unfortunate that the discourse has taken such a left turn. I've said it before, you know, I really don't want to see the United States go into a civil war again. And this kind of thing, both sides, attacks on Democrats, attacks on Republicans, it really can't run. You know, we need to have friendly debates and have our ideas with our words. And I think that's why it's so unfortunate that Charlie went out this way, because I disagree with so much of what he said. I'm hearing more and more things that he said that I'm like, I do not rock with that. But you got to defend his right of freedom of speech. I'm from a country where we don't have freedom of speech. You can get locked up for a tweet. It's a real thing. It really does happen. And I just think America is the best place in the world. It's the most free place in the world. And I really just don't want to see this kind of thing going on anymore. I really don't want to see it. I think we need to, you know, have great, controversial, outspoken black voices, people that can really stand up and go toe to toe with someone like Charlie in a debate and win. And, you know, whether that's somebody that's you know, a black Republican that supports Trump but doesn't support the way that he's talking about the community, or a black Democrat who's inspiring and, you know, looking to lift people out of poverty and you know, looking to actually provide the benefits from the state to help people lift themselves up out of their situation. But, you know, debating with bullets is really not respectable in the forum of ideas. So yeah, I don't agree with anything this guy said, but I also don't agree with him being taken out like this. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on some of these quotes. I'm gonna on some of these updates with the news. I'm gonna take things a little bit slower over the next week. I'm not gonna be trending topic it up too much because I do need some time off. I'm really grateful for all of the support that everybody's been showing the channel lately. It's just been really humbling and just, you know, really great to kind of have some have some like new connections with my audience that I wasn't having before. You know, I love to pop out every day with updates for you guys, let you know what the things I'm focusing on. This Charlie Kirk thing is saying the street hip hop news drill story, but as you can see, it's kind of penetrated into those audiences, and you know, I'm just as interested in the updates on what's happening with the Charlie Kirk case as I am with Lil Durk case and all of these things that are going on at the moment. So I'll keep you guys updated. You know, we're getting a very strange spin on the news from somewhere like Chiracology, but I think that's why it's a really interesting thing to cover, because not really anybody else has kind of got one foot into each of these worlds. So yeah, if you're enjoying the political content, let me know, man. I could talk a little bit more on politics. You know, I'm not the biggest political pundit, but at the same time, I do follow what's going on. I do have an interest. I like to think I can articulate some of these points well on both sides. So if you want to see more of that, man, let me know down below, and make sure you get your channel memberships, because I'm going to let you guys choose some of the next topics. I'm going to drop some videos that are exclusive for the channel members only. Members, activate, man. Join channel memberships below. Get in there. We're going to have some exclusive when I'm back from my vacation We're going to exclusive it up. Might even do some live streams for you guys. So tap in. See you guys very soon. Appreciate it. Peace.